Good evening, good evening. So, this is Grandmaster Jerry Fast. Fortune has given an overview of what UMAN is. UMAN is the Unified Martial Arts Network. I founded it in 2007. At the time, Garth and Columbo both were working with me with the intention of doing an actual league. I started throwing tournaments, 3 tournaments in 2008, and these were all in New Jersey. So, in 2009, after throwing 3 tournaments, I wanted to expand the organization, and I got, rest in peace, Joe Dawson and Garth and Mafia Holloway. Garth Benz was going to be in charge of Region 11, which is New York, New Jersey. Mafia, Region 12, which is New England. And Joe Dawson was going to do Region 10. Now, during that time, I had some challenges, including my ex-wife almost dying when we had our last child. So I had to take a few months off. In the interim of that, Mafia Holloway and Joe Dawson decided to start a new league called Mass War. So basically, I stepped away, and I was not happy about what happened with Mass War. But you know what? At my fourth child, and life was getting complicated. I had some challenges with a clothing line that I had named Rec Suits. Besides the many friends that were copying me, I had some shipping issues that created a major problem. And then after that, I also got into some very interesting, in a nutshell, I got blacklisted by a bunch of people that were, in a nutshell, haters. And without going into all the details, that was back in 2010, 2011. 2012. Those 3 years were horrible. So I didn't think about UMAN or any martial arts tournament until 2014, when, because of Lee Island, I came back to compete. So thanks to Stagger Lee Island for doing basically what I'm doing now when it comes to having the 30-plus market be respected. Lee Island is the one that gets credit for what would be getting all of the so-called senior competitors to come out and play. He called everybody, and quite a few people joined. The name of the team was called Executive Edge. The only thing I would refuse to do with Executive Edge was to wear the pants with the shiny hiney, because I had my own rec suits. I wore the top, and eventually I got my own top made that still said Executive Edge. I'll show that in the future, which was a rec suit, complete uniform. Anyhow, so that was back. That was back in 2007. So when I think about it now, we came out with business seminars first. And I gotta give props to Soki Hassan Khalik, because he always supported, always has supported. He went to the 2 business seminars, he was at both of them. Even though at the time he was working at nighttime. In addition to that, he came to all 3 tournaments. Now, some people came and they didn't come with good intentions, but that's another story. So, after what's been happening in recent weeks, and this is an example, this is the patch here that I made. This is a VIP membership for what was and will be UMAN. Now, the word sniper there is because I consider all the old school competitors sharpshooters, on point, and the forms competitors and the weapons competitors. Remember, the word sniper comes from the military and Secret Service. So you can't win a war without Secret Service, and the sniper is the sharpest one. So that's why I said, you know what, if the things that these kids because they're a lot younger than me, even my son, were doing, it's called point karate or sport karate, then we must have done something different. And I came up with the idea in 2014. We have it on video here on Facebook. And I came up with this idea of sniper. Formerly, it was known as real sport karate. That's when I sounded like a hater. And I'm not a hater. I'm happy that people are happy with what is their competition. I just can't recognize that. I can't even look at it. And what they've done in forms and weapons is even worse to me when it comes to fighting. However, I'm not the market. So, fast forward to 2026, we'll have a complete year of a full league with ratings, with the same 12 regions, except for Puerto Rico will be region 3, as opposed to Canada, because Canada, if they get involved, they'll do their own stuff, meaning they'll have their own regions. So I'm excited about this because a lot of people are taking the time, the money, and the effort, and they're training right now to get themselves out there and lead by example. Props to Quadranum Billy Blanks, 70 years young, competed in the tournament. But when I think about it, that tournament had 60 and above. He only fought one time. No disrespect, against somebody I don't even know. Maybe we find out who the guy is. If it would have been him competing at the UMAN event, he would have had at least 30 plus people to compete against, because the way they had it over there was 60 up, and the way we have it is, in other words, he would be competing in the 70 to 74 division if it was at the Foundation of Youth tournament, or what would be under UMAN OG League divisions. And the fact is that he only had the one match. Props to him, motivated, leading by example, all that part. I am probably Quadranum Billy Blank's biggest fan. He taught me how to blitz, showed me a bunch of things, and I am indebted to him. Yes, people keep thinking we're nemesis for some reason because I got my jaw broken by him, but I was just part of the game during that time. I mean, again, that year he got knocked out pretty bad, and I addressed this in a video that I did 10 years ago. That's right here on Facebook somewhere around there. Maybe I'll repost it. The point is that I believe that you still have some gas in your tank. Those of you who's never had a chance to become champions, like Fancy Feet there, man, it's not because of skills. It's because of schedules, life, and also something like this wasn't available to us. Now, you can become the champion that you always wanted to be. Pioneer legend as a competitor. And I'm excited about that. My job is to make sure that everyone is aware of these events. Whether you come or not, that's on you. There's no way in life I'm going to beg anybody to come to an event that's beneficial for those people who will be there. I mean, let's keep it real. We're limited in space. People have registered. Again, Joey Joyce, Fancy Feet, always been 1,000% supportive, and I appreciate you, my brother. And rest in peace to Hanchi Tommy May, because that guy was really, really phenomenal. Jose Jordan, hopefully you make it. And Mohammed, man, my man. Your guys really inspire me. I know it's difficult to get here sometimes if you're coming from another state, but I do have people that are traveling. One in particular kind of surprised me because his name is Anthony Anu. This guy was known as Tony the Tiger, like many of Tony's are known, but he was the PKA U.S. champion. He's coming to do both point and continuous contact in the 65 to 69 division. Luis Ruiz, always, thank you. Luis Ruiz, bad boy, phenomenal, 1978, top competitor back then. And then became a full contact champion, kickboxing champion, USKBA and a few other organizations. This guy's competing in the 60 to 64 in both point and continuous contact. You have people that have just some injuries, so they can't compete, but they come in to judge. Yeah, by the way, the judging has now been established and closed. We have enough. And we moved up to 5 judges, and we still have enough. In other words, there's no more room for judges. So if you're coming as a competitor or a spectator. That's it. I've been saying this for quite a while. Guys, I love you, but some of you just aren't listening. Yes, there's still space to compete. Absolutely. Yes, there's still space for spectators. No question. But that's going to change really quick the closer we get to the tournament. And on that day, my intention is to avoid a long line that's unnecessary. So please, those of you who want to participate, make your move. And it's sad to say how it was so much cheaper back in June. And I said to people, probably the only promoter ever, who said, I will refund you if you don't compete. Because no one ever does that. But to me, why not? Cash App you right back or Zelle, no problem. Anyhow, we're excited for all the people who are competing. Again, if you was rated in Karate Illustrated, you will be sponsored. Yes, Julio, I have you there. Perfect. I mean, I'm glad you and I corresponded multiple times. And yes, I have you on the list as an official judge, along with quite a few people. So there's a total of 35 judges. We don't need all 35 judges at the same time, so we have some time to be able to rotate a few people. And it would not be an all-day affair in the sense that we will be putting out the schedule of what rings you're going to be in so you get an idea. And the idea is that once your ring starts, it's off and running. In other words, let's say yours start at 9 o'clock. That means there'll be 6 other rings starting at 9 o'clock. They'll do weapons, they'll do forms, and I believe, and I got to say it like that because Master Garth Benz and Mike Conroy are the coordinators. So they'll be in charge of this. But from what I understand, all 3 events will happen. All 3 events back to back. They'll do weapons, they'll do forms, they'll do sparring. And then you have the option to either stay, go get some food in the cafeteria, because we have a full cafeteria to have a variety of food. And in addition to that, or you can go home, come back at 5 o'clock. So that's the difference. However, if you have a digital camera, please contact me so you can come in as part of media. I have 4 of the rings already with dedicated cameras. I need 2 more dedicated cameras, 4K and up, to be at the rings so we do not miss anything. The nighttime finals will be a little easier because we'll have maybe a 3-camera shoot or 3 angles at least. Now, of course, everyone's going to have their phone now. We know that. But I'm saying, for those who can't make it, I'm trying to create a positive experience for you so you can watch it on video. Now, how we're going to package the video, as of yet, I'm not 100% sure. But I know that it's going to be a motivator for the next event. And when's the next event? February 7th, same location, starts off Region 11. And then we're most likely going to go down to Florida to launch everybody off there. The 30-year-olds are going to compete amongst the rest. So in other words, you got 30. You know what? I shouldn't even say that because Master Benz and these gentlemen will know, so we'll lay out the schedule beforehand, and I'll definitely make sure that everybody knows. But you figure if there's 6 rings, you got 30 to 39, you got 40 to 44, you got 45 to 49, then you got 50 to 54, and then 55 to 59, and then 60 to 64. So most likely that might be the 6 divisions that'll start first. But then how long is that going to last? 2 hours maybe? I don't know. But time will tell. But we'll again, our intention is to give you information as much as possible beforehand, so like that you guys don't have to be there all day unless you choose to. Even though for me, the only thing that I'm regretting is that I can't be in all the rings at the same time because I want to watch everything. That's why I want to have these cameras going for those people who do not make it will have a chance to see the entire thing. This one in particular is not going to be broadcasted live. In the future, we'll have multiple cameras broadcasting it live only because logistically right now it's a little challenging. I don't have a team of media that's able to do that. However, Garth, I should say, the legendary Willie the Bam Johnson will be interviewing people immediately following their wins. Now, and this is where I've announced it a few times, and I apologize because it's really been a mess with this. And now I'm really pressured. Starting on Wednesday, we're going to start doing the interviews of the competitors. Yes, this Wednesday. So give me your best times. For those of you who are already registered to compete, all we need is 30 minutes. The idea is to keep it a nice condensed 30 minutes of every single competitor, and I'm going to be actually interviewing some of the judges also. Meaning, I want people to know who these people are, because just like in any other league, I remember when NASCAR started in 1987. 1986 was the last time Karate Illustrated had the ratings. In 1987 is when PKL started and NASCAR. When Karate Illustrated said we're going to become Karate Kung Fu Illustrated and we're not doing any more ratings. So I saw the infancy of NASCAR. I also helped with the rules and a bunch of other thinking, or I should say business, behind the NBL. So, same thing with UMAN. UMAN is starting now. In September 20th, 2025, everything changes as we know it when it comes to sport karate, or what was sport karate, that I consider it sniper fighting, forms and weapons. Because we're sharper, I believe, than people that twirl around and stuff. Again, I'm not a big fan of what I've seen or what's been happening throughout these years. And instead of crying about it, I compete against them, or I started this. Us one. There's no one more important. There's no style more important. I got people right now who literally are doing forms, and they're like, man, these forms are really hard. I'm saying to them, and this is me. For the people who are doing forms and weapons, as an example, Fancy Feet, I'm going to be candid because you said it today. He said, next time I'll do forms. This time I'm just going to fight. Because you could be in decent shape and still fight. To do forms or weapons, man, you got to be in some real shape. So kudos to those who are doing forms and weapons. But if I was you, man, I'll put fighting in there too. I'll jump in the ring. Why not? 2 opportunities to win another grand championship. That's 500 and 500. Maybe we can come off winning 2 grands. Fighting in forms. I've done it. 40 to 59 is the grand championship, and then 60 and above. The 30-year-olds are not involved in the grand championship, but to be honest with you, there's not even 4 of them yet. Yes, we do have underbelts, and underbelts total about 10 so far. So it seems like this is like a martial arts tournament only for black belts. So it seems like, but hopefully between now and then things will change. Every technique is considered 1 point. The sweep and the counter, I should say the follow-up, is you get the point. So it's 1996 all over again. You're allowed to do the cartwheel. Kudos to Billy Blanks for throwing it twice. However, you have to hit the head or the chest in order for it to be a point. That just because you throw it doesn't mean it scores. And again, I'm preaching to quiet because you guys know the difference. If not, we're going to be reviewing things regardless. Anyhow, what I have to say is that I really appreciate it. Guys, again, even when it comes to the T-shirts, we ordered only 100 of them. Why? I want this thing to be special. Every shirt is going to be signed by me and numbered by me. So like that, now you get the shirt and you get signatures from the other competitors. That some of them, honestly, may not be around too long. As sad as it is. Who knows? Who knows? We have to be grateful. We've lost so many. In the last few days, we've lost so many. Between martial arts and hip-hop, it's crazy. And yes, the after party's going to have some hip-hop and house and a whole bunch of different types of music. But thank you very much for watching. I'm excited. And all I can say is the best is yet to come. Us one. AB. See ya. Thank you. Bye-bye.